So on behalf of Honorable Founder President, Sir, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, Dr. Balvinder Shukla, it is my utmost pleasure to extend our warmest regards and welcome each one of you to this valedictory session of this International Symposium on Revolutionizing Medical Imaging with Computer-Aided Vision and Artificial Intelligence. This 4-day session has seen participation of more than 100 students and faculty members, which itself shows the relevance of this topic. This remarkable convergence of medical imaging, computer vision, and artificial intelligence has given birth to a new era in medicine, one where diagnostic accuracy, patient care, and treatment outcomes are being transformed in ways which we could have hardly imagined a few years back. As artificial intelligence and medical imaging technologies become increasingly integrated, the employability of individuals well-versed in these areas will also soar, as they become an essential asset in hospitals, research institutions, healthcare, and other companies. By embracing these skills, students are not only ensuring their own professional success, but also contributing to the healthcare revolution that promises better patient outcome and improved quality of life for countless individuals. And all of you students participating in this workshop has given you that skill and competency which would help you when you come for placements in your final year. In this valedictory session, we welcome our esteemed chief guests of the day, Dr. Harpreet Singh, who's scientist, Indian Council of Medical Research, and our esteemed panelist, Dr. Chandrasekhar, who's an MD, DM, and DNB professor of interventional radiologist innovator at AIIMS, Delhi. Dr. Sarat Chandra Janga, who is joining us online, associate professor of bioinformatics and data science at University of Purdue, Indiana University, University of Purdue. Dr. Abhinav Vats, who's again an interventional radiologist as Sanar International Hospital, and Dr. Kanchan Verma, who's the HOD of radiology at Kailash Hospital, who would be joining us very shortly. The moderator of this panel discussion is Dr. Kamal Rawal, who's our professor at Amity Institute of Biotechnology and center head of bioinformatics and computational biology. With this, I would thank each one of you for sparing your time, particularly our esteemed panelists and our guest of honor, for being present here today, because all these students are eagerly waiting for the panel discussion. And this symposium stands testament to our commitment to fostering interdisciplinary collaboration and pushing boundaries of what's achievable in the realm of medical imaging. I'm certain that these past 3 days, you all would have discussed and deliberated the possibilities and broader perspective on the profound impact of AI in reshaping medical imaging practices. We are very sure that very soon we will be able to witness tangible outcomes in this area of research through extensive collaborations, which will happen between the faculty members of your institution with you as a major collaborator and universities across the world. So with these words, I once again welcome everybody. Thank you so much for sparing your time. And I'm sure that this valedictory session would be another value addition to this amazing symposium. Thank you so much. And it is with utmost pleasure that I would like to inform everyone that Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, would be here any minute now. He has already come to the campus. So we request everybody to be seated and wait for Sir, because there is no more pleasurable moment than Sir's presence in the campus. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
So usually Dr. Chauhan comes very late.
I take pride in inviting our chief guest, Dr. Harpreet Singh, scientist, Indian Council of Medical Research. Dr. Singh has more than 10 years of experience in handling and analyzing next generation sequencing data, genotyping by sequencing, epitope prediction, comparative sequence analysis, annotations, phylogeny, database, and web service development. We are extremely proud to have such an eminent scientist with us today. And without any further delays, I would take this opportunity to invite Dr. Harpreet Singh to address us. May you please, sir? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Seema, Dr. Pooja, Amity, for inviting me here. First of all, I would like to give a small update. So this brief bio, which my colleague just referred to, is I think itself 10 years old. So I have been into very different areas, not just next generation sequence analysis and then phylogeny and epigenetic analysis and all. And now I'm heading the division of biomedical informatics at Indian Council of Medical Research. And the vision that we have set for our division is developing accessible data systems for better public health outcome. So you can say that we are more into developing data systems, databases, clinical data, biomedical data. So the roadmap that we have put forth for our division is structured data generation and responsible data sharing. So which is absolutely need of the hour if you are looking at the theme of this workshop, that is medical imaging and applications of computer vision and artificial intelligence, revolutionizing medical imaging area. So what you need is, actually, if you look at artificial intelligence and computer vision, the two components are absolutely essential. One is data, second is the application. So data is one primary component which is required and which is very much lacking. So I was just discussing with my colleague Kamal. We both have done PhD from the same university and have very significant overlapping time. So he has developed an application. He was just talking about an application where he has developed for predicting cancer. So he used 2000 images. I appreciate that. It is a very good effort he has done. But the thing is, there are a lot of inherent biases in the data sets, which impact the efficacy of your application when it goes for clinical implementation. So here what we have done is, I will introduce you. Probably some of you may be knowing, but many of you may not be knowing. In collaboration with Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore, we have initiated a very large program, which is there in the news somewhere in 2022, end of 2022, it was there in the news. So if you search on Google now also, you'll find ICMR, IASC, MOU. You'll find a lot of news on that. So that program is about developing gold standard data sets, about developing reference data sets on thematic areas. Say, for example, oral cancer. So if one wants to predict oral cancer from the lesions, that whether the particular lesion is a cancerous lesion or not, there is a problem in getting data sets. So what we are doing with IASC, we are roping in a couple of medical institutions like AIIMS, PGI, SGPGI, collecting data, annotating data, curating data, and developing high quality data sets in these thematic areas. So 6 thematic areas right now we are doing. There's this oral cancer, cervix cancer, then we have leprosy, then we have chest TB for X-rays for TB prediction. So there are 6 areas that we have selected, or they are there in the news. So what I'm saying is, Government of India, your workshop is very timely. Lot of international and national efforts are in this area. Government of India has initiated very interesting programs like Niti Aayog's this image repository, very large program by Niti Aayog, which are collecting images from various institutions and developing a large repository. Then similarly, e-health section of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, in collaboration with Vadvani AI, they are also looking of developing image repositories and such data repositories which can be utilized for artificial intelligence. So I congratulate Amity in timely organizing this workshop and this event where young researchers who are actually going to deliver, who are actually going to lead our AI revolution in the coming years are attending. I'm very happy to see young crowd here. So anything related to AI, because right now I am working in the AI. I have initiated this program. We are working on that. Second, what ICMR is also thinking of establishing large-scale artificial intelligence centers at IITs and institutes of eminence. So I'm actually visiting all the IITs, major IITs, for looking at the feasibility. So this workshop is very timely. Young crowd introduction into the AI is absolutely good, wonderful initiative. So I congratulate Amity and I wish all the success to this workshop so that the young faculty could take lessons from here and develop applications. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for the very informative and enlightening talk. It was very brief yet very informative. Thank you so much. We all welcome you wholeheartedly to Amity University, and please maybe have a round of applause for sir. Moving on to one of the most awaited sessions of the day, we would now have a panel discussion entitled How AI is Changing the Landscape of Medical Imaging, Benefits and Limitations of AI in Medical Imaging, Ethical and Legal Considerations. To join the discussion, I would like to invite Dr. Chandrasekhar, MD, DM, DNB, Professor, Interventional Radiologist, Innovator, AIIMS, Delhi. Dr. Chandrasekhar, MD, DM, DNB is a distinguished interventional radiologist and a visionary innovator at AIIMS. With extensive expertise and multiple advanced degrees, he has made significant contributions to the field of interventional radiology. As a professor, he imparts his knowledge to aspiring medical professionals, shaping the future of healthcare. His innovative approaches, coupled with his use of cutting-edge technology, has revolutionized patient care, positioning him as a leader in the medical community. Followed by Dr. Sarat Chandra Janga, Associate Professor Bioinformatics Data Science, Ludi School of Informatics, Computing and Engineering, IUP-UI. Dr. Janga is an accomplished Associate Professor in the above-mentioned fields, especially in informatics, computing, and engineering. His expertise lies at the intersection of biology and data analysis, where he applies advanced computational techniques to unravel complex biological processes. Through his role as an educator and researcher, Dr. Janga equips students with the skills to bridge the gap between life sciences and data-driven technologies, fostering innovation in the realm of healthcare and scientific discovery. We are also happy to have Dr. Abhinav Vats joining the panel discussion, who is an interventional radiologist, Sanar International Hospitals. Dr. Vats is a distinguished radiologist with a passion for innovation and patient care. He utilizes cutting-edge techniques to provide minimally invasive treatments. Dr. Vats' expertise in interventional radiology plays a crucial role in improving patient outcomes, ensuring a high level of precision and safety in medical procedures. His commitment to staying at the forefront of medical advancements reflects his dedication to both his profession and the well-being of his patients. I would also like to invite Professor Kamal Raval, Center Head, Center for Computational Biology and Bioinformatics, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, to please join the panel discussion and please moderate the session, sir. We could also expect Dr. Kanchan Verma to join us, Head of the Department Radiology, Kailash Hospital. Her extensive experience and expertise in the field of radiology contribute significantly to the hospital's diagnostic and imaging services. As an adept medical professional, Dr. Verma plays a pivotal role in accurately diagnosing and guiding treatment through advanced imaging techniques. Her leadership as HOD reflects a commitment to maintaining high standards of patient care and fostering a collaborative environment within the medical team. May we please start with the panel discussion session. Thank you. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. And I'm pretty excited to moderate this particular session on AI. To begin with, I would like to inform Dr. Harpreet that we have acquired projects over 20 CR in last 4 years, majorly focusing on artificial intelligence. We work with Baylor College of Medicine in vaccine development. So our platform is online. We have successfully launched along with our partners, one vaccine in the market called Bayvox, and we are working with other vaccine developers. Secondly, we have projects from Pfizer, American Society for Clinical Oncology, where we are trying to help radiologists and oncologists to detect cancer early, lung cancers, and trying to map the genomics data with the radiology data. That is what we call radiogenomics kind of thing. So that platform we have tested on 2,000 plus patients. The paper is in Lancet and on review, and soon it will be out. And also, apart from that, ICMR has already funded in AI-based drug repurposing projects. And we have also got projects from DBT and other things. So our whole lab or rather our whole center and AIB is gearing or marching towards the AI-based technologies and all. So you can consider, apart from IITs, MIT as one of your favorite destination where we'll be giving you all the support. And not only that, we are also supported by computer science people. And recently, under the able guidance of Dr. Datta, who is there in the audience, we have acquired NVIDIA supercomputing platform, which also augment our capabilities in AI domain. So that is kind of news to you. And to begin this session, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, colleagues, I'm honored to welcome you to our panel discussion on captivating intersection of AI and medical imaging. Today, we gathered to delve into the profound impact of AI on this critical field, exploring the potential to revolutionize diagnostics, enhance patient care, and reshape the landscape of healthcare. With our esteemed panelists, we look forward to an enlightening conversation that uncovers the promises, challenges, and ethical consideration that come with the transformative technology. Let's begin our journey into the future of medical imaging, guided by the AI. First of all, I would start with our esteemed radiologist. Probably you can share your experience, how AI has impacted the daily workflow of radiologists and what challenges you are facing in your day-to-day practicing.
Myself, Dr. Chandrasekhar, I'm a professor at AIIMS, New Delhi. I can say I'm a 30% doctor, 30% engineering, and 30% scientist, actually. I do a lot of research with IIT Delhi. I have been involved with IIT Delhi in robotics and AI, also collaborating with US and UK University. And regarding the data, as RP sir said, data is a new oil. Like AI is a new electricity. Without electricity, nothing can be done today. Similarly, maybe AI also, we cannot think of any field currently, maybe in future, where it is without AI. Especially in AI, just 5 years before, when there was a sudden boom of AI, there is a conference in radiology called Radiological Society of North America. It is being held, and it is one of the largest medical conference in the world. And the conference was about AI. At that time, it was assumed that AI may replace radiologist altogether. Even sometimes they was telling that even 5 years down the line, everybody will be out of job. I will be unemployed, sort of. But even after 5 years line, what I believe is, it is not the AI which will replace radiologist. It will only assist and enhance the radiological workflows. But definitely, I believe that radiologist or clinician with AI knowledge will definitely replace the radiologist or clinicians without AI knowledge. That I'm sure. That means AI will invariably become the integral part of our patient healthcare. Of course, I have worked in AI and radiomics and radiogenomics of lung cancer, and even recently we had a COVID pandemic, where we have developed, with IIT, we had developed some algorithms for AI detection, especially chest X-rays. What we found that as such, as a radiologist, sometimes there is a heavy chance, the accuracy of predicting any image is around 50%. The same goes for the AI, is about 60%. But if you do marriage between the clinicians and the imaging and the AI, the accuracy will go beyond 90%. That is the scope of AI. Right from patient interaction, right from patient management, till the patient discharge from the hospital, AI will definitely play an integral role. What I see a major role of AI is, one is, of course, the radiology, the pathology, and the neurology, and ophthalmology, of course, skin, dermatology. Currently, that's already proved. In fact, currently, we are using the few AI algorithm to interpret the images. I can subcategorize AI, the users' advantages of AI in the imaging in the 3 portions. One is replacement approach. Supposing in third world countries or in the rural areas where the availability of radiologist is very scarce, then AI may replace the radiologist. The second is the reinforcement. Supposing if I have a doubt, then I can have a second opinion in the form of AI. That is a reinforcement. And of course, the other approach is it will both coexisting each other and increasing the efficiency. That is the role of AI. What I can do is, there are, in addition to major challenges, there are also inherent disadvantages you can see, because patient comes to me with a trust that his privacy is maintained. But unfortunately, I am sharing the data with the somewhere the AI algorithm person or algorithm, which is unethical from the AI point of view. I mean, the whole process point of view, because there is a breach of privacy of the patient. Number two, and if you see, the AI algorithms are being built without involving the clinician or doctor in the loop. It is just being built in tandem, but there is a need for integration of clinicians in the whole loop of building the algorithms for the data. Number three is the data. As I said, data is a new oil. Getting the qualitative data is a very important thing, which Dr. Harpreet has also highlighted. There is a very big challenge. And the way the data is being harnessed and utilized in building the AI, there is no standardization as such in building various AI algorithms. And even after implementation also, even the monitoring the performance of AI is also a big question mark in the current scenario. And there are various challenges being seen in future. But currently, I can say AI definitely will play a major role in imaging. And definitely, as I said, sir said, there is a radiomics, there is a radiogenomics, all those things. You have big data where ultimately now generalized treatment will become a personalized treatment to a precision treatment with the help of AI. That's what my opinion about the AI.
Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar. I agree with you that humanized AI, what we call combining the expertise of humans and AI, is a need of the day, where we should include rather doctors during the development of algorithms, and also maintaining the privacy of the patient's data by anonymizing, and other strategies are there in the place which can help us in these things. Okay.
Yes, just one small comment. Actually, we had recently one vendor came for just to test their validation data. I mean, their AI algorithm regarding the chest X-ray interpretation. And it's basically triages the chest X-ray, which one to report first, whether it is a very highly emergent X-ray, where the time is the key for the treatment. So it need to be reported very early. And it reports the majority of the normal X-rays. Actually, it brings them down. The problem is, the one more crucial problem is, because the normal chest X-ray is not being seen by the radiologist, it will be disposed with the report of AI. The problem happens if there is a medical legal issue. If something, a small trivial finding, if it misses and something happens to patient, and patient goes to court, and medical legal case has been, if it is filed, then who will take the responsibility? Whether it is a doctor or the AI algorithm or the AI vendor. Nobody is responsible for that, because even a single patient life can be very disaster for any clinician career. This is some things are not still addressed at the current scenario. These all need to be looked at: medical legal issues, ethical issues, data sharing, and all the monitoring, vigilance, data governance. These are all the major issues which need to be addressed currently. There need to be a government interference to monitor all these data sharing, and there need to have a robustic approach for dealing such a huge data, and also the role of AI in the clinical practice.
Thank you. The next question, Dr. Arpreet. Yeah. Okay, please. Okay. Yeah. Dr. Arpreet, he has rightly mentioned about ethical, legal, and other issues which this data and sharing of data and other aspects he has just mentioned about. What is the role of ICMR in developing these guidelines, or what should be the role of ICMR in this kind of a scenario?
So very interesting question. ICMR, if you see, is an autonomous body. So we can say we are Government of India, but actually we are autonomous body. So in that sense, what our role is to propose to the government what needs to be done based on the evidence, research evidence that is generated by the researchers. So if you look at from that angle, what we have done is we have proposed ethical guidelines in AI very recently. So that is one part of what ICMR has done. It is not the binding, but it is kind of, you can say, proposal to the government that this is the direction government should be looking at when we are thinking in terms of governance of AI data. Second thing is what I feel is, right now you have, many of you must not have seen, we are developing a policy on health research data management. It's a very interesting area that my team is working on. So we have developed this policy, and right now it is in public domain for public comments. So I know from this forum, I request all researchers to just have a look at this policy and give your candid comments, because the thing is, it is going to impact you. This policy is going to govern the research data generated from ICMR funded research. And if it is recommended or approved by the government, it will be put up as a government's policy. So please give your candid comments. The policy is available at polcom.icmr.org.in. So I'll repeat again, polcom, polcom.icmr.org.in. So it is a very comprehensive policy that we are looking at, where we are, the comprehensive policies we are looking from data planning, data collection, data management, storage, and dissemination. So we are covering all the aspects, because many of the policies which are available in public domain from the Government of India and from various departments of the Government of India, they are looking only at the data dissemination portion, data sharing portion. You have this BDSAP policy of DBT, and then we have DST's policy. So ICMR's role per se is, Dr. Kamal, in terms of proposing to the government based on the research data what needs to be done, and this is what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arpreet. Now moving to our young colleague, Dr. Abhinav Vats, who is an interventional radiologist, and I was just chatting with him. So first of all, I want to understand what potential application do you see for the AI in interventional radiology field or in your procedures which you conducted?
Let's give a huge round of applause to our Honorable Founder President, sir. So we are having a panel discussion, and we are joined by Dr. Harpreet Singh, who's scientist of Indian Council of Medical Research, Dr. Chandrasekhar, who's MD, DNB, Professor, Interventional Radiologist from AIIMS, Delhi. Then we have Dr. Sarath Janga, who's joining us online. He's from Indiana University, Purdue University. Dr. Abhinav Vats, he's also an interventional radiologist from Sanar Hospital. And Dr. Kanchan Verma, who is HOD of Radiology at Kailash Hospital. And sir, our moderator in this panel discussion is our own Dr. Kamal Rawal. And It was a very interesting panel discussion, which was happening where they were telling us the integration of medical imaging with how doctors are, coming up with therapeutics and how they are understanding the diseases, particularly in cancer. So that was the panel discussion which was happening, and all these students are eagerly listening to that. And with your blessings, I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
It's a huge honor to have Honorable Founder President Sir here with us in person, and let us please welcome him and seek his blessings with a huge round of applause. And also let us welcome Dr. Amol Chauhan. We would also like to welcome Dr. W. Selvamurthy, sir. Thank you, sir, for being here with us. We would now like to welcome our esteemed guest, Honorable Founder President Sir. Let us welcome him. May I please request Professor Pooja V, Officiating Head, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, and Professor Seema Bhatnagar, Assistant Director, AIB, to please welcome our Honorable Founder President Sir with a Tulsi sapling.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am and Seema ma'am. May I now request Professor Kamal Rawal to welcome Dr. Amol Chauhan with a Tulsi sapling. May I now request Dr. Seema Bhatnagar and Professor V. Pooja to welcome Dr. W. Silvamurthy. May I now request Professor Kamal Rawal to welcome Dr. Kanchan Verma with a Tulsi sapling.
Thank you.
Thank you. We continue with the panel discussion.
I was thank you, sir, for visiting this important conference. I was asking Dr. Abhinav, what role do you see of artificial intelligence in interventional radiology procedures, and what are the challenges you face during this practice?
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir, thank you for this lovely opportunity here. So in interventional radiology, I was just having a word with Dr. Chandrasekhar also before this. There are a lot of things and challenges that we face in our daily procedures, and which I hope, and as we see the future, AI is taking up most of it. So as good as it can assist us in a lot of things and procedures. So starting with a small example as to detect a lesion. Supposing there is a lesion in anywhere in the body, which can be detected with a CT scan or an X-ray or any imaging that we do. Once we know, so ideally what a radiologist does is they categorize the lesion. But AI is doing it at a faster rate and a more, you can say, at a more better prognostic factors, so that you can classify it, whether it needs to be sampled or its chances of turning into a malignant versus a benign. Now, if it decides that imaging or just post imaging, we can actually target that particular area which is most likely to give us the answer. Because sometimes what happens is that the tumor's center component gets necrotic. And even if we take samples from the tumor and it comes out to be necrotic, we have to repeat the biopsies. Now, if something can tell us that, okay, you take this path and this will give you a better result and decide the future of the medicines to be given or the chemotherapy or the surgery to be done for this patient, I think that will be a great help. Secondly, in treating the lesions, supposing like what we do is TACE, and so TACE is transarterial chemoembolization for tumors in the liver. So those, if we get a prognostic factor by AI saying that if you do TACE with so-and-so combination, you are more likely to treat the patient better. And the future and the chances of recurrence will reduce, or the chances of recurrence is higher if you go with just TACE and you have to do a combination therapy. Suppose you do a tear or ablation along with it, then the chances would be any day better. So we do all that by ourselves with whatever knowledge we have learned from the books and whatever we've read. But with AI, it will be much faster and more accurate. Plus, if it can help us guide through the endovascular routes to reach the area and decide what hardware to be selected for the particular case. From patient to patient, we have everything varies. Sir will agree with me. Everything varies. So that will save a lot of time and cost for the patient, for the hospital, and the effort of the doctor. So it will enhance what we can say in this particular field. Also, the inventory, like sir just mentioned, that we can, with AI, we can take care of the inventory, saying that these particular catheters or wires are available in the lab right now. This is missing. So before starting a procedure, you will know that, okay, you have this much of hardware, you have to manage your case with this. If not, then you have to try something else. So all these things, I think AI will be a very useful thing for all of us in imaging. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Now, my next question is for Dr. Kanchan. How can AI experts collaborate with radiologists to ensure transparency, accountability, and patient privacy while deploying AI in medical imaging? So what is your opinion on this?
First of all, I would really like to thank sir. Thank you for inviting me, and to be a part of this itself is a big honor for me. So thank you so much. And what I personally think is that AI is is slowly growing into radiology, mainly because we are dealing with images. And these images are of patients of various modalities, whether it is X-ray, CT, MR. And since the volume of these images is a lot more as the investigation gets complex, the main role or the asset. So like what is happening is like the latest equipments that we are using now, they all have AI-based softwares, which are now allowing us to, the ease of scanning. Suppose it is a CT or there is an MRI. Most of the high-end equipments which are now being put in various institutes, including ours, they have a good AI software, so that there is a excellent interlinking between the time of scan, so that it eases out the time of scan, that reduces the duration of scan, and the image quality is also good. Now, when we are talking about with the AI, what is important is that it has to be integrated to a PAC system where we can visualize these images as well as do their interpretation. When the interpretation part comes, as of now, we are primarily doing it by the radiologist. Since some data is available for which it has been validated for reporting aspect, and not all data has been validated. Hence, in most of the places, still reporting systems are being run, and reporting is done primarily by the radiologist. When we are talking about the use of AI, especially when it comes to reporting, sir, I personally think that even if we obviously with time, it has to enhance the role of AI. However, as a radiologist, it will always be synced with the clinical aspect of radiology, which as a radiologist, we understand better. And always it will be used as an adjunct tool so that it can easily, quickly, small tumors, small cancers, small things which can sometimes get overlooked can be seen better. However, interpretation sometimes, a lot of times, is actually based on clinical diagnosis. So even if we find something where we think it could be normal, whereas AI shows us a small granuloma, significance will be finally being done by the radiologist. So role of radiologists will always be there, as an AI is always going to help us in speeding up the processes, whether it is scanning, whether it is visualization, whether it is interpretation. However, the importance of radiologist in clinical interpretation of those will always stand, sir. So it always has to be in sync with that. And 100% AI has supported us when we are saying that, small lesions, especially, AI has a very important part in especially like when we talk about breast cancer. In breast cancer, it has really come up in a big way, where it can pick up micro calcifications earlier than the radiologist can actually see with the eyes, you can see the microcal. So that can help in early diagnosis of cancer and change the stage of the disease of the patient. So definitely AI is the way to go ahead, sir. And definitely I feel that with sync of the clinical touch from the radiologist, inputs from the clinicians are equally important, sir. Thank you so much.
To ask some questions. You are my stalwart of AI. Sir, it was 8 years. Then he went to the vice chancellor of the government university. And it's a part, I never goes back, it comes back. Many crores की गैप बनाई है.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for actually, I have been working with the medical imaging and AI for long, maybe 7 years now. I've got around more than 150 publications in AI involving medical imaging. I'd like to add a few things for the people here and you doctors and the clinicians also. You see, when we look into an X-ray, for example, talking about radiology, we look into an X-ray, we actually look into the spatial information of the X-ray. Okay, it's local language, we call it pixel, something, okay? The human vision is limited to that. I'll take one simple example. We work with when I was in Amity in 2017, I was working with the French guys. There's something called as BMI. I think you guys know osteoporosis, the bone mineral density. So what happened, if I give you an X-ray and ask you, can you calculate BMI and tell whether this fellow is osteoporotic or not? You cannot. The finest radiologist of the world cannot. Because X-rays are meant for macro information, a fracture or a bone breakage or a dislocation. Now we started working on that with two French guys. What I would just like to tell you is that I'm making a very strong statement. Computer vision is beyond human vision. It's a very strong statement. Computer vision has gone beyond human vision. When I say that, I mean to say, when I put two X-rays, one which is osteoporotic and say other one is non-osteoporotic, it's healthy, the finest radiologists of the world cannot discriminate it. But what happens in AI, let's say we talk about computer vision, we transpose it into some other, some other mathematical transformation where the computer can discriminate. Of course, you see, if you talk about spatial information about it, both human vision is superior to computer vision in spatial coordinates. But the moment I transfer it, yes, sir. So this is the right.
Is it something to do with robotic also? This robotic operations, because the knee replacement was being done with cutting and lot of tissues. But recently I heard through robotic system is painless, less pain, and very, very dependable. How far this imaging is AI is already introduced? Is it a beginning phase of introduction, or how far it is?
For robotics, I think Dr. Chandrasekhar is the best person to answer your question because he has been into this for a long time and he's been, so, sir.
Actually, if you can search my name in Google, you can find out that during the COVID, actually, ultrasound, actually we need to do while doing the ultrasound, myself need to stand with the patient, then do the ultrasound. It is a dynamic process. I will see the movement, I mean, all cine images, then interpret. If you show me the images, I cannot interpret. It is like a live one-to-one episode. In the COVID, especially, we used to get a lot of calls to do the ultrasound because we need to change the PP kit, and there is a cross infection. There's a lot of this one. Then we, in fact, I am the PI. We made a team with IIT and we developed a tele-robotic ultrasound. You can search tele-robotic ultrasound. It is the first of kind in the world, actually, I can say. It is in the process where we developed a robotic arm. And with that robotic, I used to sit in my office and I do to that robotic arm with a haptic device. I used to control the robotic arm, and the images used to come. I mean, I did some 200 patients, and this is about how the robots can transfer. But the role of AI, it definitely will come in that robot, because the image processing, if I get a bad image while doing the procedure, the AI can refine the images and give me the correct images. Number two, AI can interpret the diagnosis, major diagnosis. Supposing there is a term called FAST. In the trauma patient, if a patient is into the accident and they will call for the ultrasound, what we need to identify is whether there is a fluid or not in the abdomen or chest. Fluid in the sense blood. Because if there is if somebody is hit by the road traffic accident, if there is a fluid accumulate, it is a blood. That is what you, because that will decide whether there is an internal injury or not. What we need is just a robotic ultrasound with AI integration, easily can detect whether there is a fluid or not. And basically it is like I am sure in future robot and AI will revolutionize the whole healthcare system for sure, sir. Yes.
So,
and one more thing, just because, sir, sorry, just last one, sir. Because he is an intervention radiologist, even myself, we do the procedures under radiation, basically. Because we get the radiation, then only we see the images. Because we are exposed to a lot of radiation. If actually I have taken the ethically, actually I am into that. We want to develop a robot where I can control sitting outside the radiation field and do the ultrasound, I mean, the intervention procedures. Robot will be getting the radiation, not the me. Of course, that is finally the I mean, that is the future. I mean, there is enough future for robotics and AI. There is no doubt about that.
great. So I'm very, very happy to see you all here. In I2 Board Court Hall, the Cabinet Minister of UP government, Education Minister has come. So I have to rush there. But I'm so happy. You all know I'm able to come very rarely nowadays. And this conference is in multifarious way unique important in future showing seminar, Indianapolis and Purdue University. So you all are from Indiana and Purdue or? Delhi, yes, yes, great. So I think we'll have a separate conference, Seema Bhatnagar, because I am trying to learn it. I am a chemist, MSc chemistry. I am a chemical engineer, so I have less knowledge of these things. Today, since midnight, a very senior officer from campus sent me an email. Sir, my daughter-in-law needs an emergency MRI for heart. So now it was my duty to find out which is the best imaging institution. Mahajan is the best, but he has 4 or 5 centers. So then we found out that the Vasant Kush Center for emergency imaging of heart is the best. So we fixed an appointment. Now they reached here. So my question is that imaging is X-ray, imaging is CT scan, imaging is MRI as per my less knowledge. This covers all this, your revolutionized imaging. Does it cover all these areas or only MRI?
AI is primarily looking into X-ray,
Right.
MRI and CT.
Right.
Ultrasound still is a lot into, it has a PCPNDT and everything, all the images, all storages, everything has to, we
Right.
have to follow the government law, and that
Right.
only at the time of scan, whoever is scanning is responsible. So it is, and it has to be, those protocols have to be followed. So when we talk about the role of AI, right now, we are lucky that we have 2 IR interventional radiologists also with us on the panel. And of course, they are definitely using it. But as far as we are concerned, from scanning point of view, we are using this technology. Reporting still in most of the centers is still being done because of the, it needs more validation. So whether it is MR or CT or X-rays, all are being validated by the radiologists. Hanji.
Seema Bhatnagar, Seema, this is a unique topic. You have invited unique speakers. Now, Pooja, I would like to know who has been instrumental in selecting this topic and who has been instrumental to invite one after the other such, I have read by mostly biodata. So you tell me, you are the front rider, but who else were involved in this topic? This is a very future-oriented topic, and who invited 1, 2, 3, 4? I'm very much eager. मुझे तो बताओ कि कौन बताएगा?
Yes, sir. So regarding the topic, this was in discussion with Indiana University
Right.
people for around a year. We were just looking for the right time when we can have this symposia. And we had 4 speakers from Indiana, and they have spoken about very cutting edge technology that they are using in imaging. They have presented yesterday and day before. And they have also given hands-on session to the students, and the students thoroughly enjoyed it. We had other speakers also. So Dr. Priyanka was involved. Today, Pooja is very much instrumental in many people coming here. And of course, Priyanka is also there. And of course, all the organizing committee, everybody pitched in whenever we required for speakers. So that
I would like to have a separate meeting, these experts and others.
Yes.
Datta, मैं कह रहा हूँ MK Datta की पाठशाला for AI. Because you know this one should know about it. Very knowledge बहुत कम है, but I have very fast grasping power, so I will understand everything. But this is the future. There are pros and cons, but I think people make unnecessary hue and cry. There are 98% pros and maybe 2% some negativity. Very good. So I think we'll have these, invite all these and sit together. Now another question. All those who are from AIB, please raise hands. जो AIB, right. Good. This is good. Or who else is from other institution except my war room and FCTR, then AIB? Good. So, अरे photographer, उसको बोल देना कि एक सबकी photo लेगा so that I recognize the face, and then I would like to know the name because you all have come here. It means it's also interesting for you, and this is something a very, very future-oriented topic. So I want to be the front runner in this area because we have good number of AI specialists. Kamal Rawal is a great person, and many of them are sitting over here. So I think we should understand. And Atulji has brought immediately instrument about 4 or 5 crores of Ankit Datta. So his lab wants to be one of the best here labs. So I would say congratulations to all, to speaker, and this was a path breaking. I have come in this hall hundreds of times, but after a long time, this purpose, Neeraj Sharma is sitting over here, or AK Singh sitting over here, and my Neeraj Kumar from MIT Institute of Defense Technology, you should incorporate also AI in your program because people less understand MTech in defense technology. So sit with my people and how to infiltrate AI in your topic of defense technology. So wonderful. So I have to rush now because minister is waiting. He may not get angry. Khadri, take care of it. The synergy between the other programs. Now we should put a lot of programs AI. That becomes more energetic, but more important. So I would now rush to the minister, may not get angry. So Pooja, Puniti Masan nahi dikhai de rahi.
Denmark dropped her daughter.
Okay. It's
Coming on board.
Right. So I think we clap for all of you. I would like to give a clap for our SS Kohli. He was long years in DST, a very important person in DST, must have visited lot number of universities in the country, and when he retired, I gave him some signal. I never tell you come to me signal, and he once told, sir, मैं तो wait कर रहा हूँ, कब आप बुलाते हो? And 2 days back he has joined me for another 20 years. People retire in government 60, 62. And they are so brilliant people, experienced, knowledgeable. And now they are knowledgeable for 20 years. Silma Murthy joined in 2013. He told, I have been in DRDO 40 years and Chauhanji, other 40 years with you. So that is the culture of it. So I would say we are proud of you. And in this area, Pooja, let's go ahead, work hard on this. And if you allow Pooja, I'll not rush away, but now because minister may not be angry, he has come just for our conference, I think with all, and we'll meet all the specialists. I'll have a separate meeting, closed door meeting, or all Abhinavji, Pankaj and all, they should all come here. So thank you very much. After that.
A huge round of applause for our honorable founder, sir. Thank you for sparing time.
Many of you must have seen Amol first time. He is my youngest son, studied 14 years in MIT Intern School, Saket. 94 we returned, and then he was admitted in lower nursery, pre-nursery. After 14 years, he told Papa, I want to do my engineering for America. Then I go, what is the problem? Do it. Then he applied and he was selected in 10 top universities, almost all Ivy League for BTech computer science. And there was a day when he was to decide within 2 minutes, Stanford or Harvard. So I came from campus and the temperature of the room was 25-degree high. Everybody red ears and they didn't know what to say. And he will not speak. He'll say, Mama, what you say? Bhaiya, what you say? Tulji, Asimji. So I entered. So I have a lot of knowledge to study a person. So I can write a book on everybody of you if you shake me hand. So he was selected and I told Amol, Harvard. So he wanted to say it, but he was not daring because many will say Stanford. So he completed there, then worked for how many years the mole as a top banker?
7 years.
7 years in America with a lot of so, and also then West Germany. So, these children, that is why I told him, now I will show you my brilliant people because I think nobody in the world, Abhinavji, Kanchanji, nobody in the world is as brilliant as my faculty. I've been telling it always in Germany also in my speeches. And today we should congratulate our Modi ji and Somnath ji. What wonders they have done. It's something. The whole world would salute you people when you go abroad. They'll say, "Are you from India?" They'll say, "Well, my salute." This is the situation. Now you should encash it. Now this encash it, and I know it. I knew it always, but people don't believe. I was employing 6,000 Germans on my payroll and became the biggest investor in East Germany, employing another 6,000 people. So I have been telling to my students, but they don't have faith. They say American chote hai, German achhe hai, French achhe hai. No, you people are incapable. My blessing to you.
Please be seated.
I'll show the question on the audience. So I would like to invite audience for questions if they want to ask something from. Yeah, sure. Ask on the mic.
I have 2-3 small, not the questions, but for my information. No doubt, a wonderful topic. One thing, since you are in practice, one is that how far we have really reached to maturity where we can leave it to the machines. One. Because if I have to comment, I feel that the day will not come when it becomes totally autonomous. But what I am expecting, to what extent, inter se, means human intervention versus machine is there, and what is the time window that we would be reaching to some kind of maturity, then we can leave it to them. One question. Number two is, when we take the images, how do you take care of the quality of images from various sources? When you acquire the data, because that would become the basis of the quality of diagnosis or interpretation at a later date. And what about the nuclear medicine images for AI? Because already all hardware, they have certain amount of AI already built in. So these 3 small queries. Thank you.
I'll start with the first question. I'd like to answer that. So that was that, I'll just bring the question again. You wanted to know about AI. What are the aspects in, sir, could you just repeat the first?
What level of maturity we have, means what level of autonomy?
Can we leave it autonomous or
Yeah.
not? Okay. So AI has to be monitored at all times, because AI has, so there are 2 types of what I have read. I mean, you are the boss, you would be knowing any day better than me. What I have read is that, so one is that there is a logged system in AI where you can control the AI, and whatever you fed into the system, it will just replicate that and give you results based on them. The other is adaptive, where it keeps on getting knowledge from anywhere and whatever it comes its way. So it will make a opinion on that. And AI will not be responsible for its decisions. You cannot ask why did you come to this conclusion? It will not have any yeah, so sorry. Mhm.
My question is because
Ji.
my information is from reads.
Hmm.
What I read.
Right.
You know, I learned that there was a moonshot project.
Okay.
So that I think it will become totally autonomous in times to
Right,
come.
right,
So
right.
without clinical intervention.
Okay.
But to our practicing,
Hmm.
what extent we have reached in which was that from?
Okay, please tell.
Sir, good afternoon. What I personally think is that AI is always, it's a newer technology. It is growing technology. It is something which is making, scanning and everything much easier. However, like I have been stressing, everything is manned. It is not an unmanned system. Even if it is an MRI, even if we have softwares which are loaded, which are AI supportive, and still they are always supervised. There is 100% availability of the technicians and the radiology team, which is manning. And it is extremely important that everything that passes by should always be, it should not be that images have been taken, patient is put, images taken, sent, and no. It always, it is like I said, most of the techniques and most of the scans still need proper validation before, and it is in process. It is already in process, but it will take time before we can even think of, so I think even now they are all being used with support, with proper trained people manning the equipment, proper trained people looking into the images. So it's, but definitely it is something which has upscaled in the sense that the throughput has improved. Number one. Number two, the quality of the equipment that is taken is also very, very important. What image that is being produced is also dependent on the quality of the equipment that has been bought and for what purpose it is being used. So I think all these things are very, very important before we think that it will be totally it will not be an unmanned system.
Just a small
Thank
comment
you.
from my side. As you know, this AI concept is not a new. It is like in 50s. It took us 50 years to reach where we are now. We are actually still in the experimental stage. At least I can say for now in the imaging, still it is in research mode. It is just step into a clinical practice. It is not widely used now, currently. Number one. Number two, can it replace the human brain? You just imagine human brain has a reasoning capacity. There is a 10⁻11 neurons, and each neuron has some 10,000 synapses around. There is a lot of simultaneous cross connection, which cannot be matched by the at least current, whatever the GPU advancement are. Currently, I can say the future, I don't think AI will replace complete humans. It is only a coordination, a coexistence is the only way.
Because other people may be waiting. I come back to your question. You said who will be taking care of legal issues, ethical issues.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So again, I come. What is the confidence level? Let's say the confidence level on the machine goes to 90%. Then life of the clinician is easy because already, or 95%. It will not go to 100%. I agree.
Yeah. You also know the algorithm, whatever may be, they cannot reach the 100%. There will be oscillations in the algorithm manner. So obviously, even the 1% chance, can you see, can you can you risk a one patient out of 100? Even the human life is, you cannot equate the human lives with any other, this one. Even a single life, if a decision made by the AI goes wrong, it is unethical from a clinician or medical point of view. That is the lacunae or the vague spaces which need to be addressed. So it cannot be completely made independent. It has to be a coordinated system between the humans and the AI, especially in the medical field.
Sir. No, I'll add here, sir. I'll just add here. So you have asked a very simple but ultimately complex question. It's not that simple. So the thing is, sir, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a clinician. So I'll give you one question to question. What is the level of maturity among humans who are doing these interventions? So have humans reached 100%? No. Can humans work without, aiding from help from other machines and all? No. So actually it is the combination which is going to give us the ultimate results.
The quality of image is how do you take care of the, from different sources that
Kamal, Dr. Kamal, can I ask?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So my question is, I think we have been discussing this. It's related to ethical issues. Number one, for AI, my name is Dr. Neeraj Sharma. I come from DST. My background is DST, and also a lot of connections with ICMR and others. Now, for AI, you require a lot of data. And when you have to generate a lot of data, there are a lot of ethical issues in that. How are we taking care of those ethical issues? I mean, these are very, very important. And second, Dr. Singh has already asked this question, that how far we are confident that our machines which are taking those data, for example, the CT scan or those who are doing it, even technicians, they are generating that data. How confident we are that that data is actually the, the right data for us? So two questions. Anyone can please. Yeah.
Basically, radiology images are basically, it is a standardized. The images will be automatically generated by machine. It is not that we intervene with the images, especially CT scan, MRI.
First is the ethical question. Ethical. I mean, how can you have the data without the consent of the patients?
So for ethical, I think we need to, so the AI needs to be audited at a regular interval so that it does not deviate from its ethical point and becomes unethical. Because at the point where it's going to go from ethical to unethical, nobody will know. Because it's working at such a fast speed and with all the data fed in, I feel that it has to be monitored. Again, you need a human intervention for that. Right. So to monitor the data, and so I'll give you a very small example. Supposing a doctor sees a patient whom he knows, so he will prescribe that patient first, right? If that data is fed into the AI, so the AI will also be biased towards that those particular category of patient, despite a patient who is in triage and who needs who's more serious and needs emergency for the same. So in that case, again, I feel that AI. So I feel that
yes, sir. I think I'll add this again is a simple and a complex question at both ends. So if you consider this recent data bill that has come, there are a lot of definitions which are cleared in that bill. You have data owners, we have data fiduciaries, we have data consumers. So if you talk particularly of AI, the onus is actually, the owner is the patient, the individual who is having. The next thing is this ethical issues. There are two types of, one related to data and the second related to application itself. So both of these issues has to be addressed carefully. Right now, though ICMR has given these guidelines, but still there are many gray areas which needs to be clearly defined and needs to be articulated more clearly.
Thank you. Thank you.
I take pride in welcoming our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Balvinder Shukla. May I now request Professor Seema Bhatnagar to welcome ma'am with a tulsi sapling. Ma'am, I request you to come on the dais. Ma'am, I request you to take your seat on the dais.
A very good afternoon, a very esteemed panelist on the dais. I barged in between your session, but I was, attending the session online. We have today also very important conference, the International Doctors Day celebration at our Lucknow campus, where we have the scholars, the speakers from across the globe. And also we have very important event of the law institution where the Honorable Minister for Education, Higher Education is on the campus, and he's arriving at any moment. But I knew this very important symposium is going on, and this was planned almost a year back. And finally, I can see that this event symposium is happening, and the quality of the speaker, and especially our partners from the Indiana University, from Purdue University, Indianapolis, with whom we have collaborated. And I remember I was discussing with all my center heads at Amity Institute of Biotechnology, how do we enhance our partnerships and collaborations with one side, the international universities, but at the same time with the industry, and especially when we talk about the emerging technologies, as well as the with the announcement of our Honorable Prime Minister that India to be the fully developed nation and a self-reliant nation, that how we at the Amity University can contribute in that mission of our nation. And therefore, yesterday, the achievement which India has becoming the first country in the world to reach on the moon, the Chandrayaan's landing on the moon after one failure during the Chandrayaan-2. But what we learned from the Chandrayaan-2's failure, and that knowledge helped us to gain this success, and where all the scientists, in addition to the NASA scientists, are applauded. And I think the research is very important today when we are also focusing the way the disruptive technologies are coming. Many aspects, especially with artificial intelligence, when we speak, Amity University have established state-of-the-art Center of Excellence in Artificial Intelligence, which will be doing the research, as well as we have integrated the AI courses in all the discipline, arts, humanities, social sciences to engineering and biosciences, biotechnology, health and allied. There are a lot of issues, when we talk about one side, it has been advancing in the for the betterment of the humanity and one side, but lot of the ethical issues are there when especially we start doing the clinical trials, that putting even the speech, the chip in the brain, and and doing the research. Somewhere it happens that how we can manipulate the human behavior also by understanding the chemical responses, and which lead to the neural responses, signals, and that signals only impact the directs or the influences the behavior of the of an individual. And if we start able to understand and predict the behavior of an individual in advance, many things can be manipulated and all those things. I'm sure in this symposium, these aspects must have also been discussed one side, looking at what the benefit of these new technology, disruptive technology, especially the artificial intelligence is going to bring for the humankind, but at the same time, how it's going to adversely impacting and maybe even the freedom of an individuals. To that extent can happen that, changing the individual's behavior. First, by manipulating those signals, the person is all the time happy and not experiencing all kind of the natural pains or the things the individual experiences. I'm sure all those things will be discussed. The experts from the domain, from the industry are sitting here. And I'm extremely thankful to our chief guest, Dr. Harpreet Singh Ji, scientist, Indian Council of Medical Research, because you fund so many researches. So I'm sure you must be looking at the research objectives, research implications, and the research outcomes, and also its impact on the humanity, because we all the time look at the well-being of the human being and the human race. But at the same time, I'm sure those aspects are being looked by the ICMR before funding any project. And I'm extremely thankful to Dr. Chandrasekhar Ji, MD, DMD, and the professor, interventional radiologist from the AIMS Delhi. Extremely thankful to Dr. Abhinav Varsi, international radiologist, Sanar International Hospital, and all the distinguished speakers on this dais. And I'm also thankful to all those speakers who have, in the previous sessions, have deliberated. Seema, I would definitely see the whole symposium, because tomorrow is a relatively free day for me, though I will be still busy in the interviews and all, but definitely because I'm very keen to learn that how this revolutionizing medical imaging with the computer vision and artificial intelligence is going to impact, and how we can really, when you are doing the students' work at the undergraduate level, because we have the bioinformatics and AI program at the undergraduate level as well as postgraduate level, and the doctoral research also. So how can we bring those kind of the research projects or the student projects even at the undergraduate level, which are in a constructive way? Just today only I got one proposal, one of my faculty brought. There's a games, a lot of the games are coming now. So I said, I will not approve this sponsorship till I say what kind of the games are going to be there. And there are 4 games. All 4 games are related to fight and all kind of things. That means we are creating the mind of the student all the time with those games. The criminal mind, all kind of, not the creative mind. And we know how kind of if you get addicted to those kind of games, what impact will have on that individual as well as on the families. We have seen the number of cases where those people who became addicted to that kind of the games, the war or the killing the terrorist or the fight and winning of this, that's also addiction. And with that addiction, then when your family is stopping you or anybody, then you go to the extent of sometimes killing the family member. And we have seen the number of cases and examples. So how this AI-based technology is one side enhancing the the life of the humanity, but at the same time how it's going to really impact the society adversely. And I'm sure the all research have the 2 sides of the coin, but some researches are purely the impact the society in the positive manner, as we have recent example of landing on the moon. I'm sure that will give the scope of maybe the second another planet for the colonizing the human societies, and provided that we get that kind of the environment. And that was also for the use of the AI in big way, sensor technology, many kind of the technologies, and the scientists which have done the great job. So I would like to congratulate Dr. Seema Bhatnagar and the entire team of AIB for putting in the efforts together, and the team from Indiana University who have collaborated with us. And as Honorable Founder President was saying, this is very close to his heart. He hardly comes to campus, but Seema, you can understand how much the Founder President had this topic and this area to close to his heart. And he first came to your symposium, and then he has gone to another very important session which we are having on the campus, where Honorable Minister is also coming. Thank you very much, all the panelists, and look forward your guidance and support in future endeavors and how we can work together. That also would like to hear from you. I have to go for that another session, so I will ask for the pardon from all the panelists for not sitting here and listening to you. Thank you so very much.
It was indeed a privilege to have Honorable Vice Chancellor Ma'am in person with us today, and despite her busy schedules, she managed time for this session. This shows a dedication and love towards the event. Thank you so much, ma'am. We could probably pursue with the panel discussion session for some more time.
So, audience, yes, please.
Greetings to all, and good evening and good afternoon. I just want to know that, although it would be a very simple question, that we are just talking of cancer detection in the early stages. But what about the cancer detection post-cancer or the reoccurrence of cancer? Is AI playing an important role for that?
See, AI is, like we said, imaging, whether it is in diagnostic imaging or when we're talking about, so we have various things, including nuclear imaging, nuclear scans that we have. So, like I said, again, scanning protocols are everywhere. Newer equipment is using AI softwares. Again, everything is manned, taken care, under supervision, and also being read by both the software, like, they also give certain, like, especially when it comes to nuclear imaging, there are certain things which will show up brighter, and they kind of, highlight those areas. But it is the interpretation which is done based on the images by the nuclear medicine expert or the nuclear medicine doctor. So it definitely, since we do pre-therapy scans and then we follow them up with post-surgery scans, so it scanning part, definitely interpretation is also being done, assisted, not done, is only being assisted, and final everything is being definitely done by the doctor who is looking into it, into the area. So it definitely has a role. If it is in the pre, where we can diagnose, then post-op follow-ups, definitely both are taken care of. Yeah.
Just to add, one of the challenge while imaging the recurrence acid is to differentiate between the post-op changes or post-treatment changes versus the recurrence. Because if you fall, there will be a scar. It is similarly, if you remove anything, and some scar will be there. But if any recurrence occurs in that scar, the challenge of differentiating that scar versus the recurrence is a big challenge for anybody. It is very difficult to differentiate. Like in a tumor, if in the brain, if we remove the tumor and we give the radiation, after give the radiation, tumor disappears. But because of radiation, there will be radiation necrosis because it also kills the normal cells. But differentiating between the residual versus the radiation changes or the post-op changes versus the recurrence is a very challenging, currently even for us also very difficult to interpret. There comes the role of AI. Definitely it will differentiate the recurrence versus post-op change. Another one is, as sir said, there is a concept of what we see, the image is only a morphological change. In a pixel of that whole image, there is a innumerable data which we humans cannot extract. If you combine that data with the genomics clinical data, we can predict the recurrence. Actually, AI can predict the recurrence, and it can also predict which, if the tumor is removed in certain size, in multiple sites, AI can predict where it can deal. There is a likely chance of recurrence based on its clinical data, genomic data, all the histopathological data. That definitely it plays a very important role.
Thank you so much.
Any more questions?
Yeah, Dr. Kamal Raman, I have one question. First of all, I would like to say that this is very interesting session going on the imaging techniques. So I belong to the field of biotechnology. And my question is that so far we are talking that artificial imaging is related only with the imaging. So does it has something to do with non-imaging also? Like there are many software I have come across, like on 1mg or other platform like Apollo. They have some questionnaire there, and according to that questionnaire, they reach to some conclusion. So does it also involve the artificial intelligence, or it has some more scope in that field as well? Because all the time we will not be depending on the imaging only.
So straight answer is, sir, yes. All this AI in 1mg and all, those are chatbots. They are simple AIs. But now with the chat GPT and BARD and other, lot of generative AI tools, so definitely AI has a very important and very big role it is playing.
Good evening, all.
Yes, please.
I am Professor Sudeep Bose. I am working not on the imaging part, but the thing is that I'm working on biosensor for one disorder called obstructive sleep apnea. And we have published a paper on that also, and I've submitted, sir, one project also in ICMR. So my question is, can we, based on the clinical data, such as, because obstructive sleep apnea is associated with many comorbidities like liver disease, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. So with the patient's clinical data, and can artificial intelligence can predict the outcome that based on these clinical data, whether that OSA patient which are confirmed by polysomnography are susceptible to diabetes, susceptible to cardiovascular disease or liver disease, and correlation with the clinical parameters like SGPT and molecular markers. So is that artificial intelligence can advance the clinical outcome of the disease?
Sir, again, straight answer is yes. Because if I'll give you a very vague, I will not say, but a rough statement for AI. We use word artificial intelligence, but there is nothing intelligence in it. It's a simple statistical model, mathematical model, I would say. These are weights. Then, if you go for generative AI, then it is a different kind of ball game altogether. But simple, your CNNs, your ANNs, your regenerative, all these are simple mathematical models. So if you have a defined outcome, defined output, and you have parameters which are called features in AI terminology, and you select correct features, everything is possible. Second thing is the algorithm or the tool that you're going to use or the method that you're going to use. There are different methods. You have simple regressions, linear regressions. Then you have
It's machine learning,
error back propagations, your CNNs. There are different types of artificial intelligence. So depending on the complexity in your data, depending on the amount of your data, depending on the type of your data, you select the algorithm, it will give you results.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. One question from student from the, yeah, please.
So as we can see, there is a very rapid AI advancement. I wanted to hear your thoughts on how do you recommend we bridge the gap between the rapid AI advancement and the regulation regarding it?
Can you please repeat your question? I didn't get.
So as we can see that the AI is advancing at a very rapid speed. So I was thinking if you could recommend some practices that that can bridge the gap between this rapid advancement and the regulation regarding it.
Definitely regulation is a must. What you are saying is, what you're asking is what is that? The bridge, something that is going to bridge between rapid revolution of the AI technologies and its regulation. So that thing is government. Okay. So, but they have to do, it is absolutely, and there are a lot of talks which are already going on in different levels of arena in the government of regulating the AI. Because AI, there are a lot. I'll give you a simple example. Doctor was saying that he used a robotic arm to do ultrasound. Who is responsible if that robotic arm by error presses hard on the patient and some damage happened to the patient? Who is responsible? Doctor, AI developer, or somebody else? Definitely there is a need for regulation, and government is the body who can bridge the gap between rapid evolution and the regulation in AI.
Thank you, sir.
So regulations are evolving over the time, and since as you're telling me, technology is evolving much fast. You can see the chat GPT and other technology have come, in past few months. So what industry is doing, they are generating some white papers for good practices, how to be, have a right kind of a data set, how to regulate that kind of data set, how to filter that data, and what algorithms, and all these questions are being addressed by the industry professional. And over a period of time, they will eventually evolve into a regulation kind of thing.
Thank you, sir.
Question from, yeah.
Not just the top institutes, but the clinic also. So can you provide a timeline that when this can be implemented to every clinic?
Sure. So, madam, actually, it is being used. If you look at, if you are considering AI as something, a very high kind of robotics like Sophia and Alina, so it will take time. But if you are thinking of AI as a simple kind of predicting which organ it is from the ultrasound or from the MRI, it is already doing that. So on the spectrum, part is already being implemented into the instruments which are already there. Part is in the experimental stage, and then more will come.
Okay. So right now we're talking about image classification, segmentation, and everything. And for the more years, maybe 10 or 15 years, it will be more automated.
Absolutely. It will be. It has to be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to answer this?
Besides all this, actually, I am not worried about our generation. I am really worried about the next generation. Because previously, I used to remember my phone numbers, some hundreds of phone numbers. Now I cannot remember, except my number, I can't remember my wife's number. That is the state of the current. If AI predict, AI does everything, what happens to future generation, the brain actually? How do they? I mean, there's a lot of this one, even for us also actually. As a radiologist, we know how to interpret everything. But the next generation, if everything is automated, the learning process, that core clinical acumen of treating the patient, that will be lost at places. There is no doubt about it. In addition to a lot of advantage, of course, I don't deny the benefits over the risk, but there's always a challenges.
So what I see, because in our recent project with RJCI, doctors are upskilling them. So when I was interacting with the oncologist, he was, talking about accuracy and a lot of technical jargon, which I was surprised that he has actually read those things and, upskilled in the AI domain before he started collaborating with us. And also, I think doctors are kind of converting them based upon the new challenges and new technologies which are being developed. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is not directly how AI is linked with medical imaging and diagnosis and all. My very simple question to the radiologists here is, radiology has always been the first choice of students who get selected for MD. right? So when you see after MBBS, when you go for a PG, radiologist is somewhere very high. People want to be radiologists. Do you think after AI intervention and all, radiology would still remain the first choice of the doctors?
Yes. I can say last 5 years before, there was a skeptical that all radiology will be gone into dust. I mean, because AI will take over. But even now, today also, I don't think it's still a top. Names, if you see top 100, you would have seen recently one article. Top 100, 50 students took medicine and rest 30 radiology. No surgery. I mean, still it is a top. What I can predict is now we used to, my perception is will be more into research. I mean, in the sense, supposing we used to see only images. Now we'll be analyzing the clinical data, genomic data, it will be at our disposal. We'll be integrating and we will be interpreting, our role will become more than the previous one. Previously, we are only looking at the images. Now we have to look at all the parameters with the help of AI. Definitely, I'm sure it will increase.
I would like to add more to this, that, radiology has always been an evolving branch. It started right from the X-ray, which was not even a two-dimensional, single X-ray film. And it was one of the lowest branches when it was introduced. I'm talking about 50 years ago. And to date, that it is one of the top branches, most evolved branch. Every few years, new technology is added. Every few years, new things are added. And this is just an addition. AI is an addition, supplementation to the whole process. So I personally think way to go is AI with supplementation and always in sync with the radiologist, and they will have a more wholesome scenario, like rightly said by sir. Although even now we look into the clinical aspect, even when we are looking into detailed complex cases where we have to give a diagnosis, always we look into the clinical aspect of the patient. In fact, sometimes we are asked for second opinions. It is always we look into the clinical aspect, what was the clinical parameters, if there is a particular condition, then we relook into those images. So AI is something which is can provide you the primary read, but the second read or the final read has to come from the radiologist. I think all of us on the panel will agree to that this is just a way forward, and AI is going to be a supplementation, and it is going to add. And radiology has always been evolving. So even 20 years from now, it would have evolved into something bigger and better. Thank you.
So the clinicians usually, they always say that the amount of patients that they have to, go through in OPDs and all is so high that they never get chance to do research. So if AI is going to bring in the research component in the radiology part of it, so probably it is already there. So probably you should also think of starting a MD, PhD kind of a course, which is
in fact,
there.
I am also opinion that of course, you might have agreed, there is an institute coming in IASC, Bakchi Institute. There they are actually implementing MD, MTech, MD, BTech degrees. Combination.
MD, BTech.
Yes,
Okay.
MD, MTech or MD, PhD. And actually it's essential. Now, because engineers, they cannot understand the clinical equipment and we cannot understand the basic.
Because
Yes.
You have a lot of universities abroad which has this MD, PhD concept.
Yes.
And probably this can be a start for...
Yes, AI has to be one of the subject for the radiologist during their post-graduation. There is no way out. They have to be included in future. There's no way.
So we have a course called AI in Healthcare, which our students, study, and in that imaging is one of the module. Of course, we teach them other stuff. We are upskilling them to help the clinical industry as well. So
Yes, and I also want to add that from ISC Bangalore Center, we had a speaker in the symposium on day 2. So it was really very nice to hear them how they are doing it. It's amazing work.
One quick question, last question. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Besides the PET and other CT scan, ultrasound, which we have already talked about, there are certain other modalities, treatment modalities, which are emerging in the area of cancer biology, such as focal therapy, cryotherapy. Do you have any updates on that? Whether the AI is helpful in that also?
Definitely, because we also do this radiotherapy, radio frequency ablation, cryotherapy, macro for the tumor ablation. Basically, we have burned the tumor using either by heat or cold. That basically we need to insert multiple probes. Each probe costs 1 lakh rupees. You are talking about cryoablation. Yeah, each probe costs 1 lakh rupees. If supposing there's a big tumor, we need to insert 5 probes. It will cost 5 lakhs rupees. And it can be multiple, it can go to lakhs. If you can predict in before assessing the tumor, how many probes are enough? Because we may be inserting many with our own understanding. If you can minimize the cost by AI, this is one of the example I'm telling. And to know whether it is ablated completely or not, AI can differ. To follow, AI will this one. Any tumor which will respond to this tumor, this treatment, AI will help. I mean, there's no end to it. It will, I mean, so many applications.
Thank you.
Yeah, one last question from student. Yeah. And
good afternoon. So I have very limited knowledge on this topic, but as far as I've heard you, I've understood, as far as the discussion I've understood of today, I wanted to ask, won't AI actually indirectly increase the workload of the people working in the same field? As since we know there are mutations, the environment keeps on changing. There are more mutations happening. There are more species forming. So I'm talking in general of AI in medicine. So the machines, they cannot detect these changes. They are not susceptible to the environmental changes. So every time it's we as humans, we have the capability to analyze the genomes, to analyze the mutations, and then feed it into the machine. So won't it indirectly be increasing the workload, and hence won't it be more costly? That's my question.
Very interesting question. Very interesting question. In fact, first part of your question, having AI, is it going to increase the workload of the doctors or the person who is going to use it? I was also thinking, actually, it is going to increase. But there is but to it. If you add multiple data points into your decision, the accuracy of your decision increases, which is going to ultimately benefit the patient. So having a little bit of more workload will be very useful if the outcome is going to be beneficial. First part. Second thing, it is not always it is going to increase the workload. The technological advancements are actually decreasing the workload. More and more work is done by the computers. So at one transition point, we may see this as an increase in workload, but the ultimate fruitful thing will come at a later stage, and that will really be very useful for the patient and the public health at large. I hope I answered your query.
Just a lighter note, because now if there are some 200 examination to be reported, I take some in at least 1 minute in each, 200 minutes I will take. Yeah, 1 minute it will do. I will be left 190 minutes to enjoy myself. At least, but anyway, nobody will take the risk of can you fly a flight in without pilot? Because when it goes, obviously it will be auto mode. Pilot is not required, but still nobody goes in a flight without a pilot. Same thing, finally, health is like a precious thing. Is once nobody will take the risk of even a 1% chance without a clinician's opinion. Obviously, it's a win-win situation for us also.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to add one more thing. So this conclusion, like the conclusion that there will always be the need of humans to analyze the changes and then feed it into the machines. So this makes like there's no question now that machines cannot replace humans. That is true now. So
In fact, to just answer this, I will say that machines should not completely replace. They can add, like I said, they will always be substituting you, helping you, speeding up, making you come with more accurate information for interpretation. Ultimately, it always has to be a clinical scenario where it has to be manned and looked into by the clinician. That is the right way forward.
I'll
Thank
add
you.
here, ma'am.
So you get reports on time and
Kapil,
yeah.
I'll add a philosophical line here because I'm a PhD, so I must add. And since my age is that, I should add. Creation cannot replace creator. Any creation cannot replace a creator. If you go to the religious side, have we replaced God? No. So for AI, we are the God. We have created AI. So can AI replace us? No.
Thank you.
So before we go into conclusion of this, yeah.
Good evening, sir. It was really a very interesting session. In fact, we are continuing with it, and we are fortunate to have the opportunity to hear you. Well, my question is not at all technical. I am picking up the point that if AI reduces the job of human beings, I'm sticking to that point. And coming to Indian situation or the developing country situation, how can we help in people getting employment?
Again, I'll give answer with a question. When computers came, everybody was thinking that the computers are going to replace jobs of so many things. Has computers done that? No. There are many more jobs which are created. So AI, ChatGPT is one example. Lot of this BPO industries are afraid of ChatGPT because automatically it generates. But then the more different kind of jobs will be created. So actually it is a transition.
Yeah, sir,
not a
in
replacement.
continuation, I would add, how far has computers added in lowering the unemployment? I'm only sticking to the point that it lowers the job. It lowers the workload.
Okay. How far the computers have lowered the unemployment?
Unemployment.
Ma'am, if we look at the numbers, because you cannot compare the numbers as such because our population has also increased in size. So if you look at the numbers, the different type of jobs that right now we have with computers, we have data entry operators, thousands and thousands of data entry operators. We have programmers. We have then web developers. So many jobs we have. Previously, we don't had that.
Anyway, sir, this is endless discussion, and these are the points which have plus and minus always. We can't come to conclusion until we reach to certain centuries and then come.
So we are closing this session, and before we do that, we would like to show our capabilities in medical imaging AI. So our team has made a small video which analyzes PET CT scan using deep learning algorithms. So we use advanced algorithms to reach to the solutions and also. Thank you very much. Now,
I would just like to add a closing statement. So as this is from the director of Stanford, as he said, that to every questions that you've asked, that there is nothing artificial about AI. It is inspired by the people, it is created by the people, and most importantly, it impacts people. So that's what, so natural intelligence is the one which will always be the upper hand in AI.
That was really an enlightening discussion, and it was a plethora of information that reached us. Thank you so much, and a special round of applause for all the speakers who joined the panel discussion session. I would like to thank Honorable Founder President Sir, who found out his time to join the session and contribute, and all the eminent scientists seated here very much for this. So thank you very much. And now we'll proceed to the felicitation ceremony. So as a token of appreciation and gratitude, we wish to felicitate our esteemed guests for today. May I now request Professor V. Pooja to felicitate our chief guest, Dr. Harpreet Singh. Please, ma'am. A round of applause, please. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Girish sir. May I now request Professor Seema Bhatnagar to please felicitate Dr. Chandrasekhar.
thank you. I'm definitely listening.
She'll be joined by Professor Deepak Ganjewala. Maybe please have a round of applause. Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now request Professor Kamal Rawal and Professor Rachna Singh to please felicitate Dr. Abhinav Vats. A round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Last but not the least, may I please request Professor Shoma Paul Nundi ma'am and Professor Nidhi Chaudhary ma'am to please felicitate Dr. Kanchan Verma. Round of applause. Thank you very much, ma'am. for doing the honors. May I please invite Professor Seema Bhatnagar, ma'am, Assistant Director, Coordinator, International Initiatives, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, to please deliver the closing remarks. May you please, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. As the convener of the symposium, I'm pleased to share the concluding report for the 4-day International Symposium. Before I begin, I would like to first thank Honorable Founder President Sir, Chancellor Sir, Vice Chancellor Ma'am, Selvamurthy Sir, and everyone else in the department for supporting this initiative and to bring it to a grand success. First of all, on day one, our symposium commenced on day one, which was 22nd August 2023. The symposium commenced with the official inauguration and a welcome address by Dr. V. Pooja, officiating head AIB, for the opening remarks. We thank her. 2 keynote addresses were delivered, one by Professor Jayadeva, professor at IIT Delhi, and the other by Dr. Sarat Janga, professor at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, where they covered pivotal role of AI in medical imaging. The day ended with a vote of thanks by Dr. Priyanka Narad. Day 2, which was 23rd August 2023, it featured the first lecture by Dr. Vanathi Sundaresan from ISC Bangalore, focusing on the biomedical image analysis. This was followed by an engaging hands-on session by Dr. Vanathi, allowing the participants to explore practical aspects in medical imaging. Dr. Animesh Acharya from University of Birmingham delivered a lecture on health data science, followed by Dr. Sarat, who gave a presentation on bioinformatics and data science. Another hands-on session was held by IUPI, which concluded the day's activities. On day 3, we began our lecture by Dr. Rintu Kutum from Ashoka University, addressing the applications of AI in medical imaging. Attendees then participated in a hands-on session led by Dr. Kutum. Mr. Ravi Kumar Kushwaha, an AI research scientist at Cure AI, presented AI advancements in the field. This was followed by an evening session, which was initiated by Dr. Saptarishi Purkayastha, Dr. Jingwen Yang, who discussed health informatics and bioinformatics. It ended with a lecture by Dr. Xiaofin Fang, and they all spoke on the various aspects of AI and medical imaging that they are exploring. Today was day 4, and we had a very enchanting session with all the renowned speakers on the dais. And I thank all the panelists today for sharing their valuable insights and sparing their valuable time today with all of us, so that we could get very excited about this new field and know of the practical, what are the practical aspects of this field which we should keep in mind. Throughout the symposium, participants gained valuable insights into the revolution and fusion of computer vision and AI with medical imaging, uncovering its potential, challenges, and ethical dimensions. The symposia served as a platform for interdisciplinary discussions, knowledge exchange, and collaboration among experts and enthusiasts in the field. So I look forward that this symposia today will give rise to many more interactions between all the participants and the speakers who have come here, and open new doors for research in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. As we now come to the end of the very informative, educational, and enriched session and symposium, may I please request Dr. Abhishek Sengupta, Assistant Professor, Center for Computational Biology and Bioinformatics, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, to please deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. I, Dr. Abhishek Sengupta, a bioinformatics faculty and at AIB, Noida. On behalf of biosciences and biotechnology domain and health and allied sciences domain, would like to express my gratitude to our respected founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhan sir, our dynamic chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan sir, for being our guiding source of inspiration. I would like to express my gratitude to our motivating Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Balvinder Shukla ma'am, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best and standing as our pillar of strength. I would like to take this opportunity to put all my appreciation in the form of words towards our esteemed and beloved guests for gracing us today. I'd also like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Selvamurthy sir for his kind words and his presence here. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Seema Bhatnagar, Assistant Director AIB, and Dr. Pooja Vijay Raghavan, Officiating Head AIB, for helping us with all the tiniest of details and guidance at every step of the preparation. I would like to thank all the faculty members, respected heads of institutions, center heads, assistant directors, and office support who have blessed us with their presence for encouraging us throughout the session. I would also like to appreciate the IT support and admin for all the necessary arrangements. I'd also like to place on record my deep appreciation to the AIB entire organizing team for this symposium, for all the logistics and technical support. Last but not the least, I once again thank everyone present here for their attention. Thank you, everyone.